Hey guys, what's going on, and welcome back to our race day vlog number 2 from Gateway Harley Davidson Trek taking on Belgium. We're here in Arondegem, Belgium for a 100K crit, 100K kermesse with Scott, Daniel, myself, Reese, and Evan. We had a kind of a split squad due to some transportation issues. Our van, we couldn't fit any more guys with bikes, so we ran a split squad. Some guys who were tired stayed back home, but they missed out because this was my favorite race by far in Belgium. Super technical. You can see there's a bunch of kickers out on the course. Nothing huge, but enough stuff to really sting the legs. Some cobbles, a lot of road furniture. And with that being said, with it being narrow, you knew it was going to be aggressive. So right off the bat, you can see we're 4 minutes in and guys are just gassing it off the front, trying to get a break going. And we knew it was coming, so we were all alert, all attentive, and at the front when we needed to be at all times to cover all the dangerous moves. As with this being our 4th or 5th race over in Belgium, we kind of figured who were the big hitters and who we needed to watch, who were the guys that were regularly in the top 5, and chatting with some other guys at the start. There's a few other Americans in the race. We kind of knew who to watch. That guy in the green was our #1 target to watch. You can see everybody's all over him. Anytime he attacked in the race, people were just giving it everything they had to get up to him. He actually had won 14. We were told he actually won 14 out of the last 16 kermesses he had done, so we knew he was a hitter and he was bound to be in the winning move. So right away, I tack onto his move. Before here, heading into the really narrow part, you can see guys are just launching up the sidewalks, trying to get to the front before this really tight chicane. And what made this course so much fun was you had a little bit of everything. You had some hills, some country roads, a lot of these really narrow, tight turns through the town, which you could only go about 2 wide. There was a lot going on, a lot to look forward to, and it really kept you engaged in the race. This is coming into about 400 meters to go. It's a uphill drag. You can see we're just crushing some power as we sprint up this, and I didn't realize it, but there's actually preems on every lap. I thought everyone was just going ape because it was a hill, but I guess there was preems. A little language barrier, couldn't understand what they were saying over the intercom system, but that's why we were going so hard up this finishing stretch every single lap. And it was cobbled with some speed bumps, so that made it even more interesting. 51 minutes in here, there was actually a split in the field, and I bridged up with 3 or 4 guys to the split and went straight through the split because I knew if the field split, and that means it's hard, which means it's a good time for the break to try to get away, and it probably will get away. So I got off the front with about 5 other guys, and we were working really well together. Just getting a little breather on this downhill. I actually don't have my heart rate monitor. It died, of course, like the second day we're in Belgium, so I had to take that field off the verb edit power overlay stuff, so that's kind of a bummer, but definitely going hard as we hit this uphill. I kind of attack what was left of this breakaway. I think there was 4 or 5 of us left, and kind of wanted to get away and see how the legs felt, open them up a little. Even though it's an hour in, I was feeling pretty good for the day. It was really hot, so you kind of had to monitor your efforts. And this guy came with me, and we rode around for, I don't know, a couple minutes before a small other group bridged up. And thank God I had Evan and Scott in it, so that was awesome. Guys were riding really well, marking stuff, looking for bridge attempts. So there was us 6, and we had three guys out of this break of 6, which was awesome for a little while, and then it kind of started causing a little controversy in the group. We were working together just for, I don't know, a couple minutes before people realized that this was going to stay away, and they didn't want to work anymore, which is understandable. We had 3 guys, so we kind of started sending guys. Scott, here he goes off the front, and obviously this puts the pressure on the other 3 riders in the break to shut it down, as it gives Evan and I a chance to just kind of rest and follow wheels and try to get sit out of the wind a little. And this was a good place to attack. You can see it's like a false flat uphill, hitting like 2 or 3%, kind of the whole drag for a couple blocks. So it was really hard, and there goes that guy jumping me. And once we caught Scott, he Evan immediately counterattacks, which is the perfect thing to do in this situation when you have numbers. The only hard part is we're only an hour into what was gonna be a 2.5 hour slugfest. So everyone's kind of hopping on wheels, thinking that this is gonna be the move. And when this happens, sometimes guys get left behind as they just don't close the gap in time, and by the time they go to react or decide that this move is dangerous and they want to be in it, it's just too late to muster up the power to shut down the gap and close it down, especially if it's windy or an uphill. And that's kind of what happened. Evan and I were in this group, just following moves, just playing leapfrog pretty much with each other, trying to get the break to whittle down. If no one was going to work, that's the plan of attack we were going to take. And this actually caused Scott to take another rider from a different team off the back, and the other guy wasn't willing to close down the gap. And Scott, riding smart, not wanting to run down his own teammates, decided to let the gap go as well. So they actually went back to the field, which in turn worked out really well for Evan and I, because then guys were starting to work a little more with us now that it was down to just 2 of us instead of having 50% of the breakaway gateway riders. So with just Evan and I at this point, I told him to watch the dude in the green, as we knew he was the strongest guy in the race. And Evan's got a really good snap, so I knew he was easily capable of just marking his wheel for a while. And I told him I would cover the other 2 guys, so this guy and I, this dude in the blue and the green, kind of did this game a lot where he'd tell me he's too tired and couldn't pull, and then he would just sprint by me and I'd hop on, and then he'd tell me he's too tired again. So kind of just ended up being a tactical game for a while. But it was a hard race right here. Evan gets caught, so I counterattack and kind of let off right away because there's a dude right on my wheel, and I don't really want to take anyone with me. I'd rather have them chase. And these guys, what's fun in Belgium is everyone's so aggressive all the time. So like, even though Evan and I had the numbers, we were getting attacked left and right as well, which was really fun. It's a good time racing there. I highly recommend it if anyone has the opportunity to go and race there. And there goes the big dude in the green attacking on the uphill, and Evan immediately hops on it. No hesitation, knows what to do. And now we're out to an hour and 48 minutes in. So I think we had 4 laps to go at this point. Evan and I are sensing that guys are tired. So is that guy. Obviously, he's the strong guy to watch. So Evan immediately hops on that as well. Story of the day. And I go to follow this guy as he decides he's going to close the gap down. So I hop on for the free ride back up to the break. And right now he's coasting. He's looking for some help from me, but I'm not going to give it. After he caught the break, this guy launched, immediately countered attack. He was the one I was off the back with. And I was hurting pretty bad at this point. I yell here to Evan just to make sure he rides smart. Use your head. And so he hops on, and I'm kind of toasted at this point. I don't have my heart rate monitor, but it's definitely high. Here I look back, I see there's a chase group of 3, and lo and behold, Scott's in it, so that's awesome. We start talking, he tells me he feels really good, as these guys were chasing it pretty hard and working really well together, so I knew they were going to be able to catch the break. Coming over this overpass, we all catch on safely. Scott's in the move. He says he feels good, so Evan and I are going to try to work for him. And right away, Scott launches. Guys are immediately on it. Evan's following the dudes chasing. And I believe there's 2 guys on my wheel at this point, so I'm not super inclined to close down the gap at all. It's kind of just coasting into these turns, but you can kind of let off the gas a little through these turns and they can get a little bigger gap. And this is actually the start of the break, that the group that makes it to the line. The rest of the day I was spent with these two guys, and I was just pulling through. The break was gone. These guys were toast from the chasing. I think these were the guys that were chasing with Scott, trying to bridge up. So they put in a big effort, and now they're paying for it. And I'm paying for my efforts early on as well, with 4 to go. And I was just rotating through with them. I knew we weren't catching the break, so I was just rotating through to kind of keep everyone in a truce where we could just ride together and kind of keep the field away and keep everybody happy in the break. 3 laps later, we're coming into the left-hander, tight left-hander with 500 meters to go up to the finish. I'm definitely feeling it here. We're kind of playing cat and mouse. Nobody wants to pull. We're almost coming to a standstill. Somebody jumps. We all hop on. So I kind of just go to the front and ride a tempo, as I'm hurting pretty bad, and this uphill finish is not going to do me any good at this point. So we go to launch. Guys blast by me. I give it a go for about, I don't know, 5 or 6 seconds, and I just sit back down. I was done. But I did my job. We got 2 guys in the winning group of 5. Scott ended up second, and the giant dude in the green ended up winning. So we almost got him. It was close with Scott second, and then Evan rounded out the group in 5th after doing some big digs for Scott, and I rolled through for 10th. Looking at training peaks, the duration of the race was 2.5 hours, averaged 287 watts, and normalized power is 317 with a TSS of 170. So really hard day, which that's expected to have high power if you're gonna ride a break for an hour and 45 minutes. It's gonna be a hard day, and every race we did seemed hard, but really good training. Like I said, this was easily my favorite race of the season. And everyone, all the guys, we rode really well together. Rolling up, the old fist bump. Everyone's pretty excited, and we're that much closer to winning another race. It's time for a couple celebratory Juplers that some fans bought us. As always, guys, thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you next time with another video.